whose words and cries of pain we will never hear, and yet to whom we are linked in a past that is never dead and never really past, and a future that never arrives but beckons us and keeps us going. And so history never ends, the last page is never written, and the best pages are written not by princes, presidents, prime ministers, popes, but by the people. For all their faults and shortcomings, the people are all we have. In fact, we are they. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, hello. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. I'll fix it. Make it longer. Yeah, there we go. Hello, everybody. Oh boy. Man, things are happening in the world. Funny things are happening. Very funny things. Trump's coming into office. Gonna invade the rest of the world. Maybe a ceasefire deal. I don't know if that's Trump who's doing that or Biden, and Trump is taking the credit. Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited for today. Probably not going to be long, but it's going to be fun. I've also, I've been getting a lot of work done. I've been very productive lately, so a lot of video essays and stuff should be coming out at a higher frequency in the next several months. I've really been focusing on a lot of compilation type stuff, which I've enjoyed. But I've been focusing on more on script writing and you know, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But it's going in a positive direction for now. We'll see if I burn out or something, but things are going well in that regard. All right, so the first main order of business that I wanted to talk about is TikTok. So TikTok was banned, basically. In the US, it wasn't banned, but there's a good chance it's going to be banned. In response, people have been going to a actually Chinese Communist Party run social media site called Red Note, or Xiao Shangshu is my best attempt. And it's been really interesting seeing the cross-cultural exchange between, you know, Americans and Chinese, and it's been interesting seeing just how much you know, how popular it's been. I mean, I saw one tweet that got 480,000 likes on Twitter. That was like, you know, praising and talking positively of this like cross-cultural exchange and whatnot, which is really interesting to me. You know, like with the Luigi Mangione thing and how popular Luigi Mangione became, this has also had like a positive reaction, it seems, among Americans. I too signed up for the app, as you can see. My account is named I'll link it to you guys for others who have gotten in. But yeah, apparently people are basically they're apparently having to go through some kind of verification system to get in. I have not had that problem. I've been able to just get in. So I don't know if the Chinese, they already know who I am, but I'll take it. I'm not complaining. I guess they know I'm a real one. But yeah. So one thing you need to remember when you're on the app is that to not put in English, because it's pretty much, until now, it was like a completely Chinese only app. But now with this influx of Americans into the app, that's changed. So for example, I searched Lenin in English and I got nothing, and I was like, oh damn it. But then I realized, wait, it's in Chinese. So then I typed it in Chinese, and so you get a bunch of responses for Lenin. It's basically just like communist TikTok. It's like base edits of Lenin, and like, look at this. It's literally, you know, here's a TikTok of the Palestinian leader.
Still talk.
Yeah, enough said. You know, here's a trans woman, it looks like, you know, introducing herself on the app with no problems. Everyone's saying hey. Is, you know, not like saying like, get out of here, you degenerate, or anything like that. Some people were trying to say that like LGBT people were not allowed or whatever, but that's not true at all. Plenty of people have posted the opposite. We can get to that. Yeah, Ghassan Kanafani. I know I butchered that. But yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty damn cool. You just gotta make sure you're looking things up in Chinese. Oh, did I get a follower? Nice. Hello, comrade. I'll follow you as well. I don't know. The English is, even when it translates to English, the results are sometimes weird. But still, it's pretty cool. What the fuck is this? Let's see what this is.
So, I don't know who will see this.
I don't want to listen to a US soldier. Hell yeah. So yeah. Pretty fascinating. And there were so many funny tweets about it. Download Zhuangzi, turn on localization, create account. Use same password as all other app accounts. Do you want to share? Yes. Do you want to link your account? Yes. Do you want to activate notifications? Yes. Allow Xingsu to access documents.
生注定是沧桑，苦之来要笑着走过呀，朋友啊，让我们一起来。
I'm Abe from China, and I just want to say it's so amazing to have you here. For so long, we haven't really been able to connect or talk to each other like this. But now we finally can, and it feels so special. This is such a real chance for us to really get to know each other and maybe create something amazing together. So yeah,
very cool. Yeah, apparently there's a ton of like Luigi Mangione content on I'm just gonna call it Chinese TikTok. Yeah, people are saying LGBT content isn't allowed on the app, but that's not true. Here's a gay guy on the app. Here's a bunch of lesbos on the app. So yeah, more gay guys. So yeah, that's made up. So yeah, fascinating.
What's up, gang? What's your favorite manifesto? I'll go first.
Cool. So yeah, everyone's happy, everyone's loving it, everyone's having a good time, chilling, hanging out. Except for one person. One individual is very not happy about this turn of events. Can you guess who it might be? Who do you guys think wouldn't be happy about this situation? The feds are mad, and that's true. But I'm thinking of one horse aficionado in particular. Someone got it. Yes, it is Vaush. Vaush is not happy about this. And I started to watch this video, and it made me so happy to see. I just started laughing. I wasn't even gonna stream. But then I saw this video on my drive home from work. Part of it, I listened to part of it, and I was like, alright, I gotta stream this. This is funny. So yeah. We're gonna watch this. But first, we're gonna watch and react. But first, someone's gotta give me fucking money. You can give money like to go towards the Soviet mystery box goal, or you can give money to go towards me playing Victoria 3 or some other game you might like on stream. Either way, I ain't watching shit till you give me money. Oh yeah, Lady Izdihar joined the app, so that's cool. I love her. Her content. A lot of it is obviously just apolitical, whatever stuff, because I think this is kind of like the Chinese Instagram or Pinterest. I think the more political app is like Weibo in China. That's what I've heard. Well, that's fine by me, because if the app was just like a bunch of like Maoist stuff, then any normies coming to the app would instantly just like freak out and want to leave, you know? The propaganda has to be subtle, you know? It has to be gradual. You can't just go all in at once. Am I a little blurry? Can't tell. Oh. Thank you, Troy the Catfish, for the $2. Appreciate it. Every dollar you send counts and is appreciated. So thank you. But yeah, the Chinese sentry's here. Exciting. Alright, let's get one or two more donos. Come on, guys. If we get the Soviet mystery box up, I'm going to hopefully be able to get some stuff I can put on my walls so it's not just like hideous and empty. Someone said my room is the most straight white male room they've ever seen or something like that, and that hurt me. I can't abide all the Yellow Menace BS from Boomer Idiots. True. I'm sorry about your cat. That sucks. I'm sick and tired of the ceasefire stuff because it will only benefit Israel. Advocate instead for full withdrawal. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen though. Well, I think the ceasefire has with it the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. I think what it doesn't involve is the withdrawal of, obviously, you know, Palestine is still going to be occupied, of course, yeah. I mean, the only way that Palestine is not going to be occupied is if there's, like, you know, a full-on revolution and Israel's toppled, which is not seeming too... I don't want to be a doomer, but that doesn't seem particularly likely at the moment, given the fall of Lebanon, not the fall of Lebanon, the fall of Syria, and the severe damaging of Hezbollah. They got really messed up. So yeah, and Egypt is cowardly, and yeah, it's not going great there. So really, at the best that anyone can hope for is just like stop the genocide at this point. Stop, at least do something. Like China is not going to do anything. Sadly, it seems. So like, you know, the genocide has to stop. Is like the level we're at right now. Thank you, Troy the Catfish, for another $5. And thank you, Garden State, New Jersey, for the $5 as well. Alright, we're already 1/3 of the way to the Victoria 3 goal. That's cool. Alright, let's get started on the Vaush video.
No. This is a big generational...
So I skipped the first couple minutes because it wasn't really relevant. I'll put myself up here. We just got piss mode again for a second. Have I made a Zhangzhou account yet? Yes, scroll up if you want to add me. I don't know if I'm gonna like do a bunch of stuff with the account, but maybe I will.
divide thing, you know? The fear of Chinese supremacy or military expansion is a lot more common in older people. But if you're like 30 or under, I really don't think... I just don't see China fear-mongering from younger people.
I love that. He's so angry. He's so angry that young Americans do not want to invade China. Do not want a war with China. He's so angry about that.
You know? it hasn't crossed over in the same way as a bunch of other culture war topics. Like, there are young people, young men usually, who think that trans people are destroying America with degeneracy, or women, or blah, 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 you know, that bullshit. Muslims, black people, whatever. But with regards to China, I don't think so, you know? We just think of good food and where we buy all our stuff. Well, you don't eat Chinese food in America. You eat Chinese-American food. And my understanding is that there's a pretty big difference. I mean, why should we fear China? Well, I mean, China is like a fascist, expansionist, you know, colonial capitalist empire that...
Fascist, expansionist, colonial... It's just, he's so dumb. Let me just throw every single word, every single bad word I can at China. This is what happens when you literally are proud of not reading. If you guys haven't seen my video, where Vaush is like, you know, like, you don't need to read, you know, nobody actually reads. He literally has a video where he's like, nobody reads. But it's like, yeah, he just throws as many bad words as possible at China. There's no analysis. There's just like, it's just like colonialist, fascist, capitalist. It's hilarious.
It's been threatening for a long time to invade and annex Taiwan.
Okay. I both think that the invasion of Taiwan would probably be very bad for China, but also recognize that Taiwan is rightfully China's. Just like Hong Kong is rightfully China's. Hong Kong, this fucking loser Vaush treats Hong Kong like it was just like never a part of China, and China, same with Taiwan. They're never a part of China. Why would China ever want those things back? They're just evil, you know, imperialist scumbags. Hong Kong was literally a colony of the UK taken from the China by the British. It was the King Empire, which isn't good, but it was still Chinese territory, you know? Taiwan was where the fascist nationalist right-wingers in the Chinese Civil War fled to. The Civil War was never officially ended. China was going to finish the job and kill the last surviving fascists. But the US, under Truman, blockaded China from finishing the Civil War. And now Taiwan is treated as some, like, you know, bastion of democracy and stuff. It's just, oh man. I'm getting angry. I need to enjoy myself, because when I was driving home from work, there was some funny stuff. I didn't finish the video, but there was funny stuff.
Which is probably pretty bad. Fascist? Yeah, 100%. What country isn't?
I'm curious, by the way, do you guys like it? Do you guys prefer, like, when I get more chill, or do you like it when I kind of get fired up? Because I also don't know, like, what you guys prefer. Because I'm kind of fine with doing both to a certain extent, you know?
And there are lots of countries that aren't as dangerous, potentially, as China. So are twinsy? Yes. Still, the cultural exchange, or at the very least, like, a lack of fear is probably a good thing, you know? What's the old saying?
Vaush is very dishonest to pretend he actually thinks, like, China and the US are twinsies, when he's directly and openly said he thinks America is the lesser evil. He said this very openly. He said that he wants America to maintain its military superiority around the world. He said this openly.
Like, you have more in common with a Chinese worker than you do with an American capitalist. And it's 100% true, you know? You go past the Great Firewall of China over to their apps, and what are they doing? Complaining about their schoolwork, posting cat memes, creating inscrutable Wojaks. I mean, they're in on the same, you know, we're all people, okay? They're in on it. That's probably for the best. Imagine how much they hate their government.
Sack of all trades, thank you for the $5. Oh, that's Vaush. Oh, I mixed up. I mixed up my dono with someone on the and then I read can't forget the Muslim camps and the mistreatment of Tibet, and I got confused. Sorry. Troy the Catfish, thank you for another $5. China just sanctioned multiple U.S. military companies. Are you serious? Because that would be great. That would be a great development. Alright, so people seem to be fine with my passion and all that stuff. That's good to hear. Passion is good, burnout isn't. Your rants are fire, but keep them to a level you're comfortable with. Thank you. I think that's good advice. Because sometimes I come away from it feeling just angry and I don't feel better, you know? So I think I just need to like balance it out, you know? Oh yeah, China is definitely better. Even if it definitely has flaws. A plane just passed by your house, I think? Yes, that's true. Alright.
Well, you can't post about that in a Chinese app. That would be unwise, I feel. Where's the Chinese? Most of them are in China, is my understanding. Anyway, TikTok, which is available in more than 150 countries, but not China, owned by ByteDance, righty right. Xiaohongshu means Little Red Book in Mandarin. I actually didn't know that. That's very cute. Many call the app Red Note. I don't really care if I'm using a Chinese app at all, said Miss Lee. It's like a place for me to escape reality. Making me feel good, I'm here for it. I think it's cool. I've seen a bunch of people saying, like, I trust China more with my data than I do.
I think it's cool, he says. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up what Vaush actually thinks right now. Huh. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I think it's cool.
Care if I'm using a Chinese app at all, said Miss Lee. It's like a place for me to escape reality. Making me feel good, I'm here for it. I think it's cool.
Hold on. Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect.
App at all, said Miss Lee. It's like a place for me to escape reality. Making me feel good, I'm here for it. I think it's cool. I've seen a bunch of people saying, like, I trust China more with my data than I do Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. Or, you know, I will print out all of my browser search history every day and leave it at the foot of the Chinese embassy in my city. Things to that effect. It's hard to get any worse. You know, ain't no Xi Jinping ever called me the N-word, as, you know, as one might say. Top Xi. Do we have that emote? Have we ever had the GigaChad Xi Jinping emote? Now would be a bad time to add it, because I'm pretty sure that Trump will make it like a federal offense to have that as an emote soon. We need it. We need it while it's legal. Yeah, we probably should. This community is pretty insulated from tankies anyway. I'm not too worried about people misusing it, you know.
Yeah, there's a good reason. Your community isn't insulated from tankies. Your community is a cult. It is a pedophile, zoophile cult of freakish scumbags who will defend you to the death and who believe only in forming a social group. They don't have any actual politics. They don't have any actual political beliefs. They don't have a great deal of political concern or interest about the world around them. For the most part, these people are basically just cultists. And your community is a cult, which of course insulates rational people, or what you call tankies, out of the group.
The USA has really lost the game, haven't they? I wouldn't really say that. Losing, maybe. But you made fun of Hassan for having that emote a few years ago. Well, it's a funny emote. It's just a matter of, like, do you believe it or not?
Dude, Vaush, you guys need to understand that Vaush, at his core, he's a careerist. There's abundant evidence of this. I have a video that I might make someday, but I have other projects. He, first and foremost, more than anything, he cares about his career. He cares very, very deeply about his career, about his bottom line, and about continuing to make money. So that's why he's sort of, in the more recent times, he's sort of moved a little bit left, because he's seen the winds of the tides sort of shift to the left as well. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna add a Xi Jinping emote, you know? I think he's just gonna try to slowly shift more to the left and more to the left over time. That's my prediction, because that's what he's sort of been doing a little bit. But it depends on how left America moves, you know?
Like, do you think it's funny, or do you think Xi Jinping is like an authoritarian bureaucrat who has allowed capital to expand ruthlessly under his control? I mean, an authority.
Oh wow. You know, I'm gonna respond to that insane statement, but first of all, I was eating a fruit salad, and I'm a huge fruit salad fan. If you guys don't know, aren't into fruit salads, I highly recommend it. And I even used to be a honeydew defender until that honeydew I just ate right now. That was really, really bad. I always thought honeydew was alright. That was like, I almost like had to spit that out. I don't know what the fuck was up with that. But anyways, back to the video.
Like, do you think it's funny, or do you think Xi Jinping is like an authoritarian bureaucrat who has allowed capital to expand ruthlessly under his control? I mean,
an authoritarian bureaucrat who has allowed capital to expand ruthlessly under its control. Vaush just like is incapable of not constantly revealing how ignorant about the world he is, and it wouldn't be so enraging if he wasn't so confident. Capital expansion has completely pretty much halted under Xi Jinping. The state control over the previous premiers of China was reducing, but that is completely halted. Capitalists are not expanding. That's just complete bullshit. Is the economy expanding? Yes. But capitalism is not expanding. Not really. Not any more than the state is, at the least. Ugh. Like you could have made this argument for Deng or something, but you can't make this argument for Xi Jinping. It's just nonsensical.
we have the like Trump prison photo where he's doing the blue steel face. That's not an endorsement of President Trump, you know, future President Trump, President-elect Trump. some Hassan chatters do actually glaze the Chinese government. Well, the Chinese government's probably at this exact moment more trustworthy than the American government is about to be.
So think about what he just said. Vaush has said this before, where he thinks that China is at least maybe a little bit better than Trump under America, which it's insane to just say they're only slightly better. But secondly, he's saying that he thinks Biden under America is better than China. So he's still an American exceptionalist. It's just that he's a liberal. He's a left liberal, right? I was going to say something, but my brain shut down. Hold on.
The government's probably at this exact moment more trustworthy than the American government is about to be.
Oh, yeah. So he says China is a fascist. He says China is straight up fascist, right? But that is still better than Trump, right? But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are just letting Trump come to power? Like, how does that make sense? If China is better than Trump, then Trump also must be a fascist, except even worse of a fascist than China. And yet, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are just letting this far-right fascist come to power, yet they're apparently better than China. Joe Biden, the guy that facilitated, funded, supported, and endorsed the worst genocide of the 21st century. This guy, man.
So, I downloaded Red Note and they really like Luigi Mangione over there. Oh, I bet. Like, why wouldn't they, right? South Korean police sieging presidential palace. One thing.
Think about what this fucktard just admitted to and just heard. China, this authoritarian empire. Yet the Chinese people are celebrating the murder of a billionaire? How does that track? If China is some authoritarian censorship, surveillance state, yet at the same time they're letting the Chinese people celebrate a billionaire being murdered. Okay? Thank you, Magic Land. What are your favorite fruits for smoothies and salads? For salads, for basically anything, strawberries are the best in a lot of ways. Blueberries are good, pineapples. Yeah, sorry, the healthcare CEO is not a billionaire. I'll get back to that. Blueberries, pineapples. Another hack I like to do is pitted cherries, like frozen dark cherries. I use those as my ice for my water, and then I also eat the cherries, and it's so good. But you can do that with any kind of berries frozen berries that you buy. Use that as ice, and it's incredible. Raspberries are great too. I love raspberries.
I bet. Like, why wouldn't they, right? South Korean police sieging presidential palace. One thing at a time. One thing at a goddamn time. Luigi emote win. We can't have a Luigi emote because that would imply that I endorse his behavior, and I don't. We don't condone violence of the political type.
What is Vaush's opinion on Luigi? I think you just heard it. That's incredible. That's amazing. I did not think he was that much of a coward. I really did not think he was that much of a pathetic, disgusting coward. He doesn't even say, like, for legal reasons, I can't comment on that. He can't say, like, you know, TOS, you know, I don't want to say anything to get me in trouble with TOS, which is a total thing you can do, and you're fine. That's all you have to say, and you're totally fine. No, he straight up says, we do not condone political violence. Amazing. That's amazing. I didn't know he said that. I didn't get this far. I'm gonna keep that timestamp. Vaush is more right-wing than, like, 40% of the American population. Vaush is more right-wing than, like, the most apolitical people you've ever seen in your life who have, like, no opinions, yet, you know, are not against what Luigi did. That's crazy. I did not expect him to drop that casually. That's crazy. Mute your mic when you're chewing. Yeah, sorry if that's annoying people.
Condone violence of the political type. Either way, in a world that is as interconnected as ours, and this is what I mean. I don't mean this in like an end of history kind of way. I mean this in like a very positive way. It is just really difficult to get people to endorse the kind of insane hysterical hyper-nationalism that they used to, you know? I mean, back like 300 years ago,
let's see let's see how his audience responds to this. I'm actually curious. No, we want chewing ASMR. We can work something out in that regard. Custom ASMR. Truth be told, Luigi only matters to Westerners. I've never seen someone talk about him here in Beijing. That's interesting because I heard that he was on Red Note a bunch. If you wanna, I'm genuinely interested to talk to a person who lives in China. So if you want to come on stream sometime, message me on Discord and we can work something out. But yeah, let's see how his audience reacts.
Type. Either way, in a world that is as interconnected as ours, and this is what I mean. I don't mean this in like an end of history kind of way. I mean this in like a very positive way. It is just really difficult to get people to endorse the kind of insane hysterical hyper-nationalism that they used to, you know? I mean, back like 300 years ago, you had like, I don't know, there were like 1,800 effective micronations within what is now considered Germany, and I bet you that every single one of them had people that thought every single other one of them was like the devil incarnate, you know? You've got people today in the Balkans, you know, two poor post-Soviet...
I think people think that he's like joking about that, but I think he sounded like he was very serious.
countries living in the same dilapidated concrete apartment blocks, and they all believe like, you know, the guy down the road who is identical to them in every way is like ethnically, morally, spiritually, scientifically inferior in every conceivable way, you know?
I wonder why that happened, Vaush. I wonder why there's so much racism in the Balkans. I wonder if it's because right-wing press and media outlets were allowed to just say whatever nonsense they wanted and spread ethnic tensions and, you know, just make things far worse than they were under Yugoslavia.
But nowadays, it's just really difficult.
Wait, so he's fine with the authoritarian fascist bureaucrat, but not with a Luigi emoji. Yeah, that's true.
Difficult to get on board with these kind of divisions, especially with the amount of cross-cultural exchange, right? I think one of the reasons why it's happened with the Palestinians is because they just don't have internet access. I mean, not the way
Yeah, it does sound like Vaush just has like the most surface level understanding of the Balkans imaginable. Yeah, I mean that it's true. People fucking love Yugoslavia. If you actually interview people on the streets in those countries, you know. People adore Tito and all that.
Way we do. I'm sorry, I should say they do have internet access, but they don't have like a cultural reach that extends to the point that it's identifiable and recognizable and loud in the same way that a bunch of other cultures do, you know? I think like this genuinely prevents warfare. Economic interconnectedness along with enough cultural cultural exchange. It should, like, okay, here's what I have to say, okay? Can you imagine people getting ginned up to invade China these days, like 20-somethings? Because I can't. I genuinely cannot. I really genuinely don't. I just can't imagine that. Is it possible? Like, maybe if some insane shit...
He's so disappointed, dude. He is so depressed that we can't have a giant, bloody invasion of China. Like, let me make this clear, guys. If America invaded China, Vaush would not condemn it. He would be nuanced on it. He would be like, you know, it's for a good cause, but I don't know if we're doing it right, you know, that kind of thing. He would not be fully against it, especially if liberals or Democrats were in any way involved.
happen, sure. I just don't think they would. But it used to be. It was really easy to get people to gun up for war. The English and the French, when World War I happened, not just with like America, we're all the way over here, but with France and Britain, you know, it's like, oh, well, the Germans are at it. What for again? You know, they're different people than us. Let's go. It just used to be a lot easier. Did you forget how much Asian hate there was during COVID? No, and I don't really think it's relevant to what I'm talking about. I'm not saying racism is over. I'm talking about, like, very divisive hyper-nationalism that, like, riles up a whole culture. Look, there was a lot of anti-Asian bigotry during COVID. There was not a nationwide hysteria, like, tantamount to what one would see when building war against another nation.
Yeah, because for that to happen, you need real grievances. And China has done literally nothing to America. China has done nothing to America. So no shit. Yeah. The main way that a war would happen with China is if there was some false flag attack planned by the US.
You gotta respect, like, the differences there, you know? Not saying it's, be like a spread of bigotry or a resurgence of bigotry is not the same as, like, I literally, like, I will commit the nation to mutually destructive warfare. Basically what I'm saying is that I don't think this Red Book thing is going to go very far, but I do think it's kind of charming, and I'm glad that especially younger people in our country just don't really have... There are a lot of cultural biases that we have against being, you know, ginned up for that kind of hatred and mutual conflict. Red Scare doesn't exist anymore. Not to the same extent. Doesn't it?
Red Scare doesn't exist anymore. Fucking insane people in Vaush's chat, man. The Red Scare doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Anti-East Asian bigotry during COVID was a way to drum people up in the U.S.'s support for an invasion against China. I mean, didn't a bunch of Americans freak out wanting to invade China for that Chinese balloon and shit? You know, there's definitely a section of the American population that is totally fine with war with China. And that's where YouTube channels say the Red Scare doesn't exist. That's where YouTube channels like Task and Purpose come in, who literally just exist to, like, advocate for war.
Doesn't it just sound so boomer when the Republicans are like the Chinese Communist Party? You know what I mean? It just sounds like it's out of the 50s. I never hear that rhetoric repeated from, like, regular conservatives. I don't. I see it from their influencers and politicians. I don't really see it from, like, regular conservatives, you know? Just regular people.
I'm curious, what's the China approval rating in America? Seems like a lot of people in America still don't like China, which is not surprising given the endless propaganda war. Unfavorable 81%, so yeah.
They want to revive the 50s? Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be taking. I mean, think of how much widespread bigotry we've normalized and promoted against Muslims since 9/11. The military still saw massive decreases in its recruitment throughout this time. Like, support for American engagement in the Middle East has plummeted enormously, bipartisanly, like on both sides. That's a lot of words, the Radical Dino. Sorry, no, you're...
No thanks to Vaush, who has literally repeatedly said America should remain the #1 military power in the world.
You're not. You knew they were a lot of words. That's why you had it copy-pasted. You have to read every word or you're xenophobic. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Young people are already, like, willing servants of the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, it's fine. Wouldn't tankies still be opponents of MAGA? Not really, no. Not the kind of tankies that, you know... Tankies aren't even a thing anymore. The only...
What the fuck is he talking about? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Like, first of all, would tankies support China? Tankies were the only people fighting the MAGA communists. I mean, would tankies support MAGA? Tankies were the people who fucking wiped the MAGA communists off the map, basically. And then also he's saying tankies don't exist anymore at the same time that, like, hundreds of thousands of Americans are going to a Chinese Communist Party app.
The only reason tankies existed was because it was like a novel way of supporting fascism and like grooming people on the fringes of the left into that position. Nowadays, there's just no point because the easiest way to be supportive of, like, Russian apologia, third worldist fascism is to just be a supporter of President Trump. Because they do it anyway. Like, the
fuck is this guy talking about?
Easiest way to be supportive of, like, Russian apologia, third worldist fascism is to just be a supporter of President Trump. Because they do it anyway. Like, the Republican Party is out there saying, well, actually, Ukraine deserved its invasion because NATO expansionism led to Russia defending itself in Ukraine, and so on and so forth. Like, all the tanky Kremlin talking points that were novel before are now mainstreamed into the right wing. There's no point in being a tanky. Don't you think Americans would gun up for war with Mexico?
What is he talking about?
Oh, absolutely not. 0% chance. No. Absolutely not. That'd be insane. Literally, no. Absolutely not. All of the you know, Trump hatred stirring, still no. They would on the side of Mexico. Joining the war on Mexico on the side of Mexico. Yeah. Would they do it anyway, though? I can't see the future. I'm just saying that I don't think there'd be a sufficient public push for it. The war would be framed as being against the cartels. I just don't think it would sell.
I mean, that is a good question. What do you guys think? Could America be persuaded to invade China? I wonder if that's more... I think, you know, I think that's not beyond the possibility. I really don't. Especially as American hegemony declines, as America's economic power declines. the idea of invading Mexico, which is governed by socialists or like social democrats, not really socialists. Why the hell would Trump ever suppress capital, though? His main advisor is the richest man on earth, Elon Musk. Maybe he'll control capital. Maybe that's what Putin did. Putin didn't suppress capital in Russia. He brought all the oligarchs under his control, basically. Yeah, I think tankies is a term that should be totally reclaimed from people like Infrared and excuse me, and Jackson Hinkle. Jackson Hinkle is a fascist. Infrared is a fascist. Tankies, you know, for all my disagreements with some tankies and all that, those are pretty much separate, in my opinion. It's not useful, I feel like, to lump in Infrared with tankies, because then you're just getting confusing. Alright guys, thank you for the support so far. If you want to support the goal, Soviet Mystery Box opening, or you can also donate to the goal for me to play Vic 3 on stream. There's an hour left and we're halfway there, so that's cool. There's no ads on the stream whatsoever, so the only money I get in any way from the stream is from you guys. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a difference between... it's complicated. I mean, Vaush did go against Infrared and Jackson Hinkle publicly, but he didn't do that because he cares about socialism. He did that because he wanted to use people like that to demonize anyone who would ever defend the Soviet Union and China. That was the only reason he attacked those people. He attacked those people so he could continue his agenda of wanting the U.S. to remain the dominant hegemony militarily around the globe. Grant Scarborough, thank you for the $20. You know who's similar to Vaush but possibly worse? Logan 30 Acres / SML. I've never heard about him. The thing that's so bad about Vaush, specifically, is that he has pretty much the bog standard, you know, reactionary, awful opinions of a libertarian socialist, whatever. But he's also tremendously successful. And that's why I've continued to go at him lately, is because he's kind of bounced back from the folder incident. And he's pretty much gained back, like, all of the subscribers and success he once had. That's really the main problem I have with Vaush, is that he's successful, you know? Logan 30 Acre. Oh, he's not a political guy. He's some kind of pedo, I guess. Like Vaush. Yeah, I've never heard of them, but thank you a lot for the $20. I really appreciate that. 4 more donos to the Victoria 3 goal. Let's go. How would I compare Vaush to Novara Media? I don't know if all of Novara Media is bad or just Aaron Bastani, but Aaron Bastani is really bad. Well, we know for a fact that Beau of the Fifth Column is a CIA plant. We know for a fact he just straight up is. I recommend Dad Empanada's video about him. So that bolsters the argument that Vaush is also associated with the federal government. Because Beau of the Fifth Column had the exact same politics as Vaush. Beau of the Fifth Column was a vaguely anarchist, libertarian socialist, you know, oh man, I'm a leftist, man, you know, but I support every single war that, you know, the U.S. is involved in, and, you know, I think we should invade China. He doesn't quite say that stuff outright, but, you know, he's super anti-China, anti-socialist states. I've seen some of Navarro's stuff, and it's okay. Yeah, I think I like the Indian girl. I forget her name. She seems pretty nice. But Aaron Bastani is like a total right-winger now. Or he's slowly becoming one. If you guys want me to watch the Beau of the Fifth Column video, if someone really wants me to and donos like $10, I'll do it because it's pretty insane. I've seen it already, but I'll watch it again. It's totally insane, and that is some of the best proof that Vaush is a CIA plant, because Beau is. He, like, basically 95% is. So they do fund these kinds of people to do this shit. Shouldn't you update the bar on the top left? So, the bar on the top left, the Soviet mystery box opening, that only goes to the goal if you donate to the Streamlabs link. That's not how I set it up, that's just how it's set up. So you have to click in the description and click support the stream, and that will go towards the Soviet mystery box goal. Thank you, Emperor Lucifer, for the $5. Just a curious question. Why do you say Infrared and Jackson are fascist? And what do you think about Midwestern Marx? Oh my god. Same questions. It's not a bad question, to be clear. So basically, fascism, according to Michael Prenti, is a system where capital turns to basically certain people in the population, far-right ultra-nationalist weirdos like Hitler and Mussolini. Capitalists turn to these people and say, we want you to take control to protect our funds, to protect our ownership of property, to protect our power in society as capitalists. And so these fascists come to power on the backs of funding from capitalists. and then they carry out the capitalist bidding while also fulfilling their own desires to, you know, kill minorities and you know, all this stuff. So that's what I mean when I call Hinkle and infrared fascists, is that if they were given the opportunity from capitalists to seize power, they would establish something like a Nazi or a more likely a more Italy type regime. And they also, the other thing I missed is that they also use socialist slogans and populist slogans to gain power, which is what Jackson Hinkle and Infrared do. So that's what I mean when I call them fascists. Also, the other thing... Does that make sense? If you want a big, deep dive into fascism, I released a 3-hour-long compilation of Gabriel Rockhill talking about fascism. And then also, Gabriel Rockhill has a very successful lecture where he talks about, great lecture. He's talked about it a ton. I also took the lecture and I cut it up. Shortened it, and I'll share that. And also Michael Prenti has some great talks about fascism as well. Oh, and Midwestern Marx is, I thought they were, you know, redeemable until they sided with Jackson Hinkle. Because even Infrared, at that point, you could still maybe just call dumb. But Jackson Hinkle is the most blatantly obvious far-right fascist to ever live. He's a blatant Nazi, basically. We need to make the opposite of Infrared, who is ML masquerading as a reactionary and tries to Trojan horse ML ideology into it. Well, I'm sort of thinking about, some of you guys might have already heard of this, doing the Great Kick Crusade. I'm thinking about eventually going to Kick and spreading the light of communism to the filthy, barbarous hordes of Kick on a crusade. So, yeah. Hold on. I'm still planning it out. We'll see if I do it at all, but if you want me to do that, if you want me to go to Kick and try to convert the right-wingers on Kick, I'll link the Kick in the chat. And I think once I get to like 100 followers on Kick or something, I'll try a Kick stream and see how it goes. The best thing about Kick is that you get 90% of all donations, which is insane. On YouTube, you get 75%, which is good. And that's why I don't do something like Twitch, because Twitch you only get 50%. Kick is like a it's a streaming service where mostly like gambling scumbags or like and right-wingers stream. So I could be like the first leftist on Kick. Kick is Twitch but worse, true. Shut up, bitch. Hassan should move to Kick? Yeah, that would go well, for sure. Alright, so we talked about Red Note. Oh yeah, the Gaza Ceasefire. What is the update on that? Oh shit, it got reached. And people were saying that it was Trump that did that, but is that true or was it Biden? I want a news article about this. Oh, here's Bernie. Alright, well, I guess the ceasefire, it happened. I did not know it happened. That's good to hear. Would I be streaming on multiple platforms at once or just on Kick? That's something I have to figure out. I'm not sure yet. Alright, so it's not an official ceasefire and it's a 6-week pause apparently. Then yeah, that's not really a ceasefire. I'm not going to give Biden any credit whatsoever because Biden is the reason this happened in the first place. This is well below the bare minimum of what should have happened. This is below the bare minimum of what should have been done, right? Like, this is not, like, something to praise Biden at all for, to be clear.
وحنبني وحنعمر وحترجع غزة أحلى من قبل. في طفلة بنت شهيد، في أختها، في ختيار، في شاب، كلنا حنعمرها وحترجع أحلى من قبل. غزة فينا، إحنا اللي صمدنا وإحنا اللي صبرنا. ولا إنجازات لأي حدا ولا لأي قيادة ولا لأي كبير ولا أي دولة. الإنجاز هنا. هذا الإنجاز أنا وهي ونفتخر إنه إحنا الأنجز.
Wow. Oh. 7 minutes after announcing a ceasefire in Gaza, the IDF announces an attack in the West Bank. Crazy.
محمد ضيف سرق بوعده محمد ضيف يا ابو عبيده طلوا شوف يا ابو عبيده طلوا شوف وهي رجالك على المكشوف وهي رجالك على المكشوف. يلي ضحوا مبلى سنين صمتوا بليل الزنازين يلي ضحوا مبلى سنين صمتوا بليل الزنازين.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, they didn't attack Gaza after announcing the ceasefire, but they attacked the West Bank, which shows how little they actually give a shit about a real ceasefire.
This call, but Green repeatedly told us that Brett McGurk in a public setting was going to be doing this call, and I don't know how do we put that toothpaste back in the tube? Can we put this call on the record?
The call's on background to senior administration official. Thanks, Omar.
Right, but the issue is you've told.
Could you please tell us about how the USSR dealt with Israel? Well, they helped fund the Nakba in 1948, and then after the Nakba, Israel turned towards the West, and progressively more, especially in the Yom Kippur War, I believe, the Soviet Union helped the Arab countries to fight Israel. Also, I want to address something someone said about me banning people in my Discord and then making them sub to the Patreon to get back into the Discord. Let me make something clear to you guys. If I banned you, I did it because you violated one of the rules or you annoyed me. The only reason I would have to unban you is if you give like a very genuine apology of some sort, or if you pay me. If you are so torn up about being banned from a Discord that you pay me, fine. And if you don't want to pay to get back into the Discord, that's also fine. It's a fucking Discord. You people care way too fucking much about being in some shitty Discord, okay? It's not a big deal. There's plenty of, you can annoy people in other Discords. There's plenty of other communist Discords out there, okay? I hope that's clear. Moderating the Discord is my least favorite part of being a YouTuber, which is why, I've been trying to just get mods to automate it for me. Alright. Bad Mouse debate when? I'd be happy to hear him come on and defend the shit he said, about the Soviet Union. do you mean, what should you stop? It's pretty insane that Trump is trying to take credit for this. Because apparently it's literally just Biden who's responsible. Again, as I said, he deserves zero credit. Biden is responsible for all of this. He is responsible. You shouldn't let him use this as his redemption arc or something. Like, at all. That being said, it's still good that this happened, and it's better, obviously, than if it had not happened. Thoughts on Ben Norden? I like him, he's good. A lot of the multipolarity bros tend to get a bit too campus for me, but Ben Norden has repeatedly, unlike a lot of these multipolarity people, Ben Norden has repeatedly said explicitly, like, I am a socialist, I am a leftist, you know? And also, he's just very well read. He speaks, like, several languages. He does really good deep dives into topics. And he's also very well versed on economics. He's very much a modern socialist in that he's not like a super, like, read a ton of Marx and Engels and all that. He's very much more like a interested in modern politics kind of socialist. Ben Norden is a bit campus, but not as bad as some of the other ones. Let's see. But yeah, Gaza Ceasefire. Wow. Alright, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, one other thing is at the beginning of the year I was going to do something called, I don't know, like the top 10 chem heads of the year or whatever. Like that's my top 5 favorite people of the year. And I've had it ready to do for a while, but I never got around to it. But I figure now is as good of a time as any. I've had them open, just sitting in the tabs. For this year, I've chosen 4 people. 4 not leftists necessarily, but the people who I think have something to admire to them, let's just say. And so, without further ado, the top 4 chem heads of the year. Coming in at number 4. Oops. Hassan Nasrallah, leader of Hezbollah in Lebanon. Contrary to what he might look like as just like some, radical Islamic ISIS cleric or whatever, he was actually in many ways a very intelligent and informed and well-spoken man. And he also was willing and ready to fight for Gaza when no one else was. And the fact that he was killed is a blow to the hopes of Palestinians. And, yeah, it's a loss. Because, he was maybe not like, a socialist, obviously, or anything, but he was willing to stand up and fight Israel. And there's something to that. All right, next. Aaron Bushnell, anarchist kind of dude. He was a former member of the U.S. military, and then he decided, according to his Reddit history and the statement he released, that he was done, and in protest of the Gaza genocide, he decided to set himself on fire, which is, pretty horrific, pretty goddamn unpleasant thing to do. And, however you might disagree with his politics, that is an impressive sacrifice to make, I would say, at least. All right. Next up. Yahya Sinwar. Hell yeah. So, I don't know if you guys saw the video of Yahya Sinwar in his last moments. Let me see if I can bring that up. And I should have prepared more for this, and I'll probably do more next year. I'll definitely do more in preparation for this next year, but I kind of just want to get it out now.
After the first anniversary.
So yeah, Yahya Sinwar was the leader of the resistance of Hamas against Israel. Here he is in his last moments. He's missing an arm. Even in his dying moments, he's fighting. He throws a piece of wood at the drone watching him. Pretty insane. So yeah. Pretty crazy. And then number 1, even though you guys can sort of see it, Luigi Mangione! Oops. Did it again. God, this is the most fucking phoned in half-ass shit I've ever done in my life. Dear God. Apologize. Luigi Mangione. Fucking badass. I know, not... For people had positive things to say about what he did, and negative things, and I agree with one of the sides in that debate. Shot a millionaire healthcare CEO. And not just a millionaire healthcare CEO, but one of the most powerful healthcare CEOs in the world. Not just some random CEO, but a huge CEO. See you later, Grant. Thank you for the dono. A huge CEO. And had some weird political views, but, you know, he took matters into his own hands, and he did what anarchists have stopped doing for over 100 years. Anarchists used to do the whole propaganda of the deed thing. They stopped because it was seen as ineffective. And then Luigi just came in and said, actually, you know what? It's extremely effective. And he became the most popular, like, celebrity in America. And, yeah, lots of memes have been made about him. I made a video about him that to date is one of my most successful videos. It's my second most viewed video. Check that out if you haven't. I'm quite proud of it. I went to town editing that video. And, yeah, he, did a thing, and that's cool, I think. Everybody give a round of applause for those people. Yeah. Cool. All right. Alright. Well, I think that's about all I got for tonight, guys. I'm kind of passing out. However, I'd be willing to stay longer if you guys have a video you want me to watch, especially because we're close to the Victoria 3 goal, but not quite there. There's 22 minutes left. So, if you guys want to reach that goal somehow, I'm cool with that. But if not, there's always next time, you know? You can raise the goal by donating a minimum of 2, so it's not hard to raise the goal. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little sleep deprived. I'm getting good sleep. I feel like I'm just crashing or something. I don't know. It happens. Thank you, Pickles, for the $5. Much appreciated. Thanks for being the entertainment while I operate heavy machinery. Lady Izdihar crossover on Soviet Mystery Box episode. That's a great idea. I would love that. I would love that. She could rate all the things I got. She'd probably know a lot more about, since she's very much into the cultural side of the Soviet Union. That would be really interesting. Maybe I'll think about reaching out to her or something. Alright, we're 2 away from the Victoria 3 goal. Let's fucking go. New Hakeem video released, really? Oh, cool. Oh, is there? 2 weeks ago. Did he take it down? I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't think Hakeem posted a new video unless he deleted it. All right. Yeah, so last call for Victoria 3 goal donos, or I'm gonna head out, I think. Hakeem should fix that typo. Why is the West is so rich? Lenin always will live, that is true. His liberalism video is really good. Let's see what Ben Norton's up to. Yeah, I'm too tired. I gotta lay down or something. Alright, folks. Fun stream. See you next time. Peace out.